Here's part one of our conversation with former Jitters lead singer Blair Packham. I remember in 1987, the first CD I ever bought, there were actually two, they were both Canadian, Closer Together by The Box, and the Jitters debut album. Last of the Red Hot Fools was a great song. I still play it today. Here's part one of our interview with Blair Packham.
And also the weirdnesses, like the time that I comforted Duran Duran backstage at the Vancouver.
Why? What happened?
They were upset.
With?
Okay, well, here's the story, which I haven't yet written for the book. These are all tiny little stories, but they're kind of like just when I think, yeah, that was me that happened to. I was at the David Bowie Glass Spider Tour show at BC Place. I was backstage. I had tickets for VIP seating or something because apparently I was a VIP, and I had already been introduced to David Bowie, which was really nice, in a meet and greet. So, not much of a story there really. But then I was backstage drinking a beer because in the break between the opening band, which was Duran Duran, and Bowie, there was a break and I wanted a beer. So I was backstage in this room that had sports pictures. It was a boardroom and it had sports pictures on the walls. And it was a really institutional kind of, arena kind of room. Suddenly, Simon Le Bon and Nick Rhodes burst into the room together, arguing. And Simon Le Bon is saying, no, we were horrible. We were crap. We were, all these things. And Nick was saying, no, it wasn't that bad. And he was saying, they didn't even hear us. And he's practically crying. And I'm looking at these sports pictures thinking, that's Simon Le Bon. That's Nick Rhodes. And I'm drinking a beer and looking at these pictures, but sort of glancing over at them. And I don't know why, but I said, it was really good. And Simon Le Bon stopped, like in the middle of, and focused, like his laser attention went right over to me. And he came over and he said, really? How was it? You saw it? You heard us? And I said, yeah, you guys sounded great, actually. I mean, it's a tough gig. You're opening for David Bowie in an Enormo Dome. What are you going to do? There's compromises. And he had no idea who I was. Zero idea. The Jitters' first record wasn't out. I mean, even if, and not that he would have known us even then, but let's say he'd been touring Canada for a week and had heard one of our songs on the radio. Even then, none of that had happened. Suffice to say, Simon Le Bon still has no idea who I am. But the fact that I was actually patting him on the arm and saying, no, it was really good. And he was looking at me with big puppy dog eyes going, really? Really? Was it? And it was just, I don't know. It's that kind of thing, hopefully less slight than that, but that I'm putting in my book. And I'm really getting excited about it. And I've decided to start telling people that it's a book. I'm 50 pages in, 3 chapters, and I feel really good about it.
I've got no shame. I don't care. I'm proud of my accomplishments.
I don't. I never got a gold record or a platinum record. And,
why didn't you get them?
No, we never sold that many. Like when I say the Jitters' career was modest, I'm not kidding.
But I thought your first 2 albums went gold.
No, the first album was really close, and by today's standards would be gold. It was 40,000 sold, and the second album was almost 40,000. But it sold a little less. And we were nominated for a Juno. We didn't win. Barney Bentall won instead. And Barney and I are friends, and that's fantastic. But at the time, it's funny. I didn't care at all about winning a Juno. Sitting in the audience, I was just having fun. I was sitting beside this guy from the record label in America, and he was sort of amazed at the way the Canadian music industry worked, because he was, he's from LA and he'd never been to Canada, and he's sitting there. He's an older guy too. And he was sitting there, and Rita McNeil came out with the Men of the Deeps, with their miner helmets on and so forth. And it's so Canadian. Like when you're sitting beside a guy from Hollywood, from the Capitol Tower in Hollywood, and this large woman comes out with all these coal miners who come out, with her. It must have been weird, for him. And it was weird for me to think of it. And he leaned over and he said, what the hell is this? And I said, she is beloved by Canadians. And he went, okay. And at the end, he turned to me and he said, that was amazing. And he was totally into it. So I was into all of that stuff, the stuff going on around me. And the band had a reunion on stage that year, and Crowded House performed. And I, huge Crowded House fan. Yeah. And so I was caught up in all that. They get to the Most Promising New Artist award. And right up until that moment, I could have cared less. We were just happy to be nominated, And Barney's sitting like a couple rows ahead of me, and I didn't know him at the time. And the award is announced, and just in that split second before they say, and the Juno goes to, I'm like, us, the jitters, I want it, come on, the jitters. Like suddenly it mattered like more than anything in the world. And then they said, Barney Bentall and the Legendary Hearts. And I'm like, oh no.
You know how many times I've heard that story? And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
Yeah.
If people are being honest, they'll tell that story. We'll have more from Blair Packham coming up in the next 3-4 days. Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Canada.